Are you guys as emotionally exhausted as we are? Oh my God, so much happened. Just stay tuned. We're going to talk about it all.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Let's all take a deep breath. In and out. I swear to God, there is not another show that makes me so exhausted after all the drama.
I need a drink.
I'm like, I am emotionally spent.
How are you guys?
Great.
Good to see y'all.
Good to
After
see
I
you
was
too.
gone for a couple weeks.
We're all back together again.
Yay.
Back together. I got all my sisters and me.
Shannon, tell everyone where they can find you on social media.
Yes, please find me at Shannon Bobo everywhere, and I do follow back.
And you can find me at Kellie with an IE 079, and it's the letter O, not a 0.
Just so you know. And you guys can find me at Hayley Clover on Twitter, Snapchat, all of the above. We've got the music extra.
Yes.
Today.
Go ahead, Steve, kicking it for us.
So overall thoughts of the episode today. I always like to start there, just to see if we all have the same opinion.
Okay. Overall, all right, good season. I can't wait to see what happens next. I mean, I am anticipating.
Okay.
And still want to punch Joe, which is kind of productive because like that's why she's in the mess that she's in. But I'm like, I kind of get it. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
No, you're not.
Wow.
I would just choke her like Chris Rock said. I wouldn't hit her though. I'm probably gonna get people mad at me for saying that, but I don't care. It's my opinion. Okay.
Kellie.
I liked it. It was a little frustrating for me though. Just like so many parts of. I felt there was a lot of selfishness going around and going on, and not enough communication.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a little frustrating all the way around.
I definitely agree with that. I do think it was one of my favorite episodes to date, though, just because
good.
usually the ones that I'm watching and I'm like, we both had our hands on our face, and I was like, you know, I was tearing up at some points, and then just, you know,
Still not crying for me.
I still felt exhausted. So I was like, okay, they did a lot for me this episode, whether it was happy or sad or what. It did a lot.
And I
for
have
me.
to agree with the selfishness, because I think that's the reason why I was mad at Joe, because I was like, in the midst of this building collapsing, Joe was on DeLuca. You know they're gonna make me testify. I'm like, really, Joe? It's the Joe show again? Thanks, Joe.
Well, should we just jump in with Joe, since she's been such a big topic of discussion? She finally, secret's out.
That's good.
The secret's out.
The worst
She
kept
owned up.
secret is
Remember
out.
we were saying that earlier?
Yeah.
She owned up to it, and I appreciate that.
What did you think about Alex's reaction?
He
Is it
kind
what
of
you
looked like
expected?
he was so calm, but it like I didn't know, because again it's like Dr. Heckle, Mr. Hyde, is that right?
Hyde.
Yeah, I was like, is he gonna about
Hyde.
this? Yeah, is
Jekyll,
he about,
Mr. Hyde.
Miss Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Whatever it is.
So he's about to slip off, or
personality.
what is he gonna do? But he was very, I mean, like his eyes. I was like, what's he gonna do? And then he was just so calm. I was like, okay, Buddha Karev now, Buddha.
Yeah. But you also have to remember, and that's the thing when you have an older person that's dating a younger person and you have really serious issues, he's at a very different place in his life.
Right.
So he can process it a lot differently, but when he was her age, he probably would have been even worse, and he wouldn't have taken it so well and been so calm. And I think that's what a lot of her issue is that she's just young and doesn't really take responsibility for
How
anything.
young is she?
And nobody makes her. I mean, she's like she's in her early 20s. But still.
Early 20s. I didn't know that. I thought she was like at least like mid to late 20s. Is she really
she's
early
like,
20s?
Well, it's like 20s, but
She
that's
should
still,
know better. Women mature faster than men.
I mean, I don't know.
She's no
I
better
think-
to be married twice.
I think
She
that
ain't no little spring chicken.
No, but also it's like the way she handles things is she's never had real guidance to take responsibility for anything. I don't think it's an excuse. I think it just is.
Well, with this kind of profession, you can tell that their personal lives always get put into the background. So, like, as much as she maybe is late 20s even, let's say, she could be more mature when it comes to her professional life.
Right.
Oh, okay.
But the personal life side of things, it's like she hasn't dealt with any of that shit in a while.
And we screaming Arrested Development right now. A little bit of Arrested Development emotionally for Miss Jo. That's the excuse we're using for her this week.
Girl, you don't have to use any excuses, okay? That's just what I'm saying.
I don't think it's an excuse. I think it's just the reality of her life. I mean, if she was in that bad relationship, that's all she's thinking about is that she's away from it. She doesn't want to go back to it. So she's going to do everything she can to stay away from it. And once you get in a lie so deep, it's hard to kind of dig your way out of that hole.
Right.
I do have empathy for her concerning that, but it's just in the midst of a huge building collapsing and they're trying to save lives, and then all of a sudden she's like, DeLuca, but I'm like, girl, put your stuff on the back burner for just a second.
I agree with that because I wrote Joe's worrying about her life during a major trauma.
And I wrote Joe, selfish bitch. Sorry, Joe. I hope she comes on. I love you still.
Yeah,
but totally forgetting about that he was beat on to the almost beat to death.
Beat to pulp.
All of that goes out the window when she should be relating to it if the same thing happened to her.
True.
But there is but she's showing no compassion, just completely oblivious, and even makes the comment.
Her, that was more of that was a fight. It had nothing to do with any kind of relationship. Whereas I'm sure she's thinking that was my husband and he beats the shit out of me.
Right.
Maybe she doesn't even relate the two, even though she should.
Right. Well, and even the comment that she makes is one day everything's fine and then the next it collapses all around you. And it's get over yourself. You're not the only one, especially to whom she's speaking. That's just so ridiculous.
And again, she brought all of this upon herself.
Right. Absolutely.
And that is why it collapsed.
Communication is key,
wasn't surprised with his reaction though, and I think actually after thinking about it, I liked his reaction because to me it was realistic. If you've ever been in a bad fight with a boyfriend or someone that you really love and then you take a lot of time off, there's usually or sometimes that one thing that happens where you're just everything all of a sudden is kind of just okay.
Yeah, you just kind of find your silver lining, the peace.
Something in it, and you just realize how much you did love each other, and you still really do, but it's just gonna be okay now.
Yeah,
Yeah, because it just
it was a sense of calm. It's almost like he accepted it. I feel like it was he was grieving the ending of a relationship, grieving the fact that the woman didn't want to marry him, grieving the fact that he made a big, huge mistake. So Karev, and then grieving that he had to be demoted and worked at the clinic. So Karev is going through a lot of stuff, and I feel like tonight was about him just accepting what is. He's like, I take full responsibility for what place I take in this whole situation. And I love that. And it gave him clarity and closure. And I love the way she took responsibility. She's like, hey, if I leave, it's not because of you. And I just wanted to make sure you know that it's not because of you. It's because I'm scared that I'm going to get my butt killed.
Right.
So, and I appreciate her stepping up to that and making friends with that.
I also love that he told her to stay.
Yeah. I love that. I thought that was so sweet.
And we had some comments and things I was reading. Do you think that was a manipulative thing on her part? So just knowing that he would rescue her in a sense? Or
she is a little damsel in distress.
Sincere?
No, I think it was sincere.
Yeah.
That was my gut feeling.
My instincts were saying, my instincts were pretty much in agreement there. I believe that she really is sorry for everything that happens, but she's scared shitless.
I know,
she's
it's
scared
crazy
of this
that
man.
She doesn't feel more safe where she is now than running to a new place again. Don't you think?
Exactly.
You'd feel
Girl,
more safe
you work in a hospital, so
having
people
a guy
beat you.
with that, and having a guy like Alex around.
He's like,
or people that you know will go beat the shit out of that guy for you or whatever.
And what about protective orders and all these other things that she's not factoring in? Is she really that afraid that he's going to find her?
Now that she's
cat's out of the bag.
Now that she's been away for so long and he really doesn't know where she is, there's got to be some kind of measures you can take now to kind of protect yourself. I obviously don't know, what those are.
Yeah.
I haven't had that situation.
So thankful I don't know.
I mean, I understand that, once you're away, then you're not even thinking about, all you're thinking about is staying away and staying hidden. So, I mean, I can understand why she would want to just run to the next place versus trying to stick it out and fight, because, I'm sure she probably tried to do at least something before she ran away.
Do you think she even knows where he is? Like, do you think, like, who knows if he's
Maybe
even
she's like
still
secretly
alive or
following him on
whatever, you know?
Facebook.
Or if
like, I
he's
know where
in the
he's
same,
at.
or if he's in the same place that she left, maybe. I
And
don't
what
know.
about? Well,
Do we think
know
that
her
ever
family. She
becomes an
comes from a
issue
broken
in the
home.
show? Do you think Shonda ever brings that thing?
I think it would be
that
interesting
storyline in?
too to kind of bring it full circle to know, like, does she keep tabs on him to make sure that he doesn't know where she is? How does she know that he doesn't know where she is?
Because
Right.
I
he
would be
hasn't made a
more
move.
scared to just change my name and like live life normally than I would be to, you know, I guess keep tabs on him. Like
Yeah.
if I was like, oh, out of sight, out of mind, it won't be a big deal. I think I'd be really anxious.
Yes,
Oh, for
definitely.
sure. I would definitely want to keep tabs and kind of know what was happening.
Absolutely.
Just to try to get
At least like
prepared,
keep
but-
one eye open when I'm sleeping.
Yeah, but I mean, you
But at
also
least she
have
works in a
probably would've had to
hospital,
kill
so
him.
if he
yeah,
were to,
well, and she, you know, she did well for herself. She, you know, is trying her best to kind of move on, but she does have a lot of those selfish tendencies and doesn't realize what she does and how it impacts other people, or she does and just doesn't care.
And how did she get her medical license with a fake name?
Right, that's what I was thinking too.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then what? So she
That's
faked her
real
ID
shady.
and all this shit. Now, like, she's gonna go to jail. I
I'm
mean,
not
come on.
really Joe. I took some
can't
dead
overlook
woman's.
that
But
obvious
I want to
point.
hear that backstory too. Like she took some woman's identity who, like, I don't know. I just want to hear that backstory too. How did you get Joe?
She just made it up.
Her real name is Joanne, so she thought she could just change it to Joe and all would be good.
Simple Joe.
Oh man, I don't know. Okay, so let's talk about this giant building collapse.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh.
What is it about the doctors always being in the car at the right time to
I
see a
know.
freaking trauma? Like they're always right there. I'm like, really? Again,
Dun,
they just
dun,
happen to be
dun.
driving by this
We were
building
talking about that.
collapse.
It's like a lot of repeat stories. It's like
Seattle's
we've
not that
seen
big of a
this.
city.
Yeah.
Right. Seriously, but yeah, that was I mean, so the entire building collapses. It was, you knew right away that this was going to be one of those Grey's episodes where the entire episode was about this trauma.
Right.
And all of the loved ones that were going to be at the hospital and just, you know, all of the craziness that ensues after that. So
It's very traumatic.
we immediately see this bigger gentleman who's laying on a
Gurney?
and asking for a priest. And so if I don't know, at first I didn't think right away like, oh, he's the landlord, whatever. I was just like, oh, he just honestly
He's
thinks he's
about to
gonna
die.
die. Like,
He
he's
wants a
crazy. He
priest.
needs a
Yeah.
priest. He needs to pray, whatever.
Turns out it's guilty
Yeah.
much. Guilty
Oh
man.
God! Right when he's saying I murdered those people, like it's my fault, blah blah blah. I was like, oh no, no! Like, my first reaction was maybe he was the one that built the building and knew that there was some kind of structural
yeah.
issues.
Yeah.
And then we find out that there was earthquake damage, and he just never fixed it.
Yeah, just collecting that rent.
Well,
like,
he couldn't afford to, and that's one of the things he says. It is he tried. A lot of the tenants couldn't pay, could barely pay rent. He didn't have the money, didn't want to raise their rent. He knew all of them,
It's just too nice.
so
though.
he was
Yeah.
So it was, you know, he didn't.
Don't be nice when it comes to money.
Be responsible,
I'm just
right?
kidding.
Their safety is obviously more important than anything.
And the
so.
biggest storyline with all of the patients from that crash was little Winnie
Oh,
and
yeah.
her parents.
It's just
Poor
too
thing, you know,
bad.
they drive her in. And we see that she's really hurt. Obviously, she's bleeding out when she gets there, and they're draining blood so much. And it's the one moment with Dr. Weber today that we see he, you know, has that. That was the part that really
With
got me.
Stephanie.
'cause
Yeah,
they-
'cause Stephanie was trying to.
they get all slow motion,
Yeah.
and it's just like.
I mean, he was
and it
trying
won't
So
stop.
dramatic.
everything.
But in a way, like
Everything.
I was wondering if it was going to come up because Stephanie wanted to do that little technique, and then he was just like, no, and it was like the Minnick Weber little.
Well,
you
right,
know.
and I thought he was having a little
stepped
bit of a
over her.
big head
Yeah.
because of that whole situation. But then I thought about it, he is a great surgeon. There's probably no way that she would have been able to do anything. I mean, she was bleeding so much, the little
Yeah.
girl, and so I don't know whether it would have made a difference, but. It's just awful because her parents overheard the doctors talking about how the landlord knew.
Right, and they
that
didn't
that was-
know. It's like because the hospital is full. It's like you know, try to keep the conversation
Well,
down.
I actually liked that part of the storyline because I
Okay.
always wonder all the stuff that they talk about in the elevator, all these places, and it never
People hear
really
you.
kind
Heard.
of like comes out. And I liked that actually there was a consequence to it today.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's a
Watch
good
your
point.
mouth, doctors.
Yeah, I actually like that. It's like,
Yeah, because it's
because I mean they're talking about all of these things because they're so desensitized and trying to separate that they're not thinking how, you know, this is just kind of something that they don't even realize.
Right.
I think because they just go with the, you know, so into those emotions.
Yeah, and their loved ones are all over the place.
I know. I love the
because
way
can't get them
they
all
handled
together.
that too. Is because I didn't realize that. I'm pretty sure there's been in past episodes too that I just missed. But I love that they went around and took pictures of everyone. I was like, oh, that's what happens in a trauma. Because like you got to be able to identify those people right away.
Yeah, they've definitely done that before. And some
But
of
I
the
like
other
the way
big,
they explained it and like how
Right.
they went and took pictures and like had everything down. That's how we had the other storyline with the women. We never resolved that. Like the two women, the one man, frickin' Charlie.
Oh, yeah.
The girlfriend and a wife.
Yeah.
So I feel like it needs to be be continued with like what is going on with this like
Well,
is
I
the
think
wife
they lead us to believe that because the doctors didn't get in the middle of it, that the two women were going to go visit him at the same time.
And then
figure it
they
out.
were just going to stay out of it and let the women, the poor
not our
wife
business.
too, because she seems so nice. Well, and who knows, the girlfriend probably didn't even know that he had a wife.
possibly.
Right.
Yeah.
Usually like Christmas, you're spending it the day after Christmas.
Yeah.
Don't. Like, he's married,
don't
girl.
know.
Come on now. We usually know woman's intuition.
Yeah.
Most of the time we deny it. So those beds were filled up and everything. And I have to say, I have to add in on this really quick. Our shows are always brought to you completely free, but one way that we pay for our shows is by having amazing sponsor. And today is Helix. You're unique. You don't walk like everyone else, talk like everyone else, or sleep like everyone else. So why is your mattress one size fits all? You deserve something that's custom made for you, because a truly customized mattress will cost you $5,000 to $10,000 until now. Go to helixsleep.com. That's HELIX sleep.com. Answer a few simple questions and they'll run a 3D biomechanical model of your body through the proprietary
Algorithms.
algorithms. I swear I wrote this before. I didn't read it out loud. There's machines. That's why I'm not on Grey's. They develop with the help of the world's leading ergonomics and biomechanics experts. I'm gonna get these words down, I promise you. The result, the most comfortable mattress you've ever slept on. Doesn't that sound good? That's like the bed to just hug you. Helix customers report a 30% improvement in overall sleep qualities, and for couples, they customize the mattress to fit each size, so that's good for anybody that's in a relationship. I'm not sure if it will work for the husband with the two wives though, the wife and the girlfriend.
No,
I wonder how that's gonna work. That's probably not big enough. Your mattress arrives at your door within a week, and shipping is completely free. That's why everyone from GQ magazine to Forbes are all talking about Helix Sleep. You guys, that's so important. You have 100 nights to try it out, and if you don't love it, they'll pick it up and give you a full refund and no questions asked. Go to helix.com/podcast and get $50 off your order. That's helixsleep.com/podcast. helixsleep.com/podcast. You guys got to test that out.
Thank you, girl.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That sounds good. I need a new mattress.
Yeah.
Mattress sucks.
Custom made?
Yeah, I know. That does sound good.
Yeah.
Where were we? We were talking about Charlie, his two-time and his wife.
Yeah.
Two-time Charlie.
Yeah,
and Winnie and her parents, they have an uprising with all the patients, and they let everyone know kind of what happened with the landlord and how he knows. Everybody gets upset. He's not going to get away with it. And then after they found out that they lost their daughter, it just got even worse.
Yes.
Oh, they were like...
Well, and back to those pictures
lemonade.
we were talking about. Yeah. The mom steals the picture of the landlord and tells Dr. Ben that she's looking for her husband. And he doesn't know. He's like,
what a mother does.
Okay, and of course, him being the fake priest for the day, he felt so bad with this. This guy just needed someone to talk to.
Right.
And so he's like, yeah, come on, come right in. Find out she tries to, unhook all of his vents and ventilators and kill him. Yeah, and she gets arrested, and we see her taken off into a cop car.
I feel her pain, because I get crazy over my little Yorkie. Imagine a kid. Oh my God, it's on.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, I can understand her irrational behavior after finding out your daughter died and knowing that it could have been prevented. I mean, that would kill you.
Especially because they didn't live they were across the street. They weren't even at the building. they were across the street.
Oh,
so it was
I
just
missed that
kind
part.
of like the aftermath of it all, which made
Oh,
that's why they drove in because they
Makes
weren't
sense.
at the building.
Okay, got it. And they
Yeah.
weren't tenants at the building, so.
I think they might have been.
Yeah, the dad kind of made it.
They actually
alluded.
might have been tenants, but they just actually weren't at the building
Right.
at the time. They were like
that's
across the street
awful.
getting
Getting coffee. But I
or
thought the
something.
little girl was there. The little girl was at the. Anyway.
Well, either way.
Either way, she's hurt. Well, now gone.
Yeah. Yeah, it's awful.
It was just
I mean,
heavy. It was a heavy episode.
Yeah, that's
Very
why
heavy.
I do feel totally
Yeah, it's kind of like
exhausted.
it was. I was emotionally exhausted after
Yeah.
this.
Well, okay, so there's one part that is kind of, there was one funny part, at least to me,
Okay.
in the entire episode. It was Dr. Robbins today.
Oh, yes.
And Dr. Minnick, she's, trying to put the game on. Like she said, she's got
That
a
was
game with
cute.
Dr. Robbins. And Dr. Robbins is trying to help this young boy who's, hyperventilating and can't get his breathing stable. And she acts like she doesn't even remember the conversation that her and Dr. Minnick had in the...
She's playing her own game.
Oh, yeah, in the elevator. And then says to the little boy when she leaves, "You see me winning?"
that was
so
cute.
funny.
Yeah.
Winning.
So they're getting a drink, but she told her that she doesn't like that she walks around the hospital like she owns the place.
Yeah,
and
she
thinks
does
it's
kind
annoying.
of act like
What
the
are
top.
your thoughts on her as a character?
I do not like her.
Oh.
No, I don't.
don't either.
I don't like the energy that she brings. I get the technique, and I think it's interesting, and I think it could be useful to a certain extent. But also, like when you rip the Band-Aid, sometimes it doesn't always work.
Right.
Especially, you don't know where everyone's level is. She doesn't know these residents. She doesn't know
Right.
the interns. You know what I mean? She doesn't know where they are, and I get like aggressive and just jumping in, but I just feel like there needs to be some sort of balance between
Right.
what she does and what Weber does to make it a better program.
Well, it'd be really nice if they just co-did it. I don't know if the yin and the yang, because she's
she said
definitely
she
more
would
yang
not
than he
do
is.
it. She said, "It's not, if you don't want to give me the job, that's fine. If you do, I'm doing it alone."
And I love how everyone band together and say, we need to figure this out because we love him. We came up through him. We're great surgeons because of this man.
Right.
Yeah, I loved seeing that too because I'm always a fan of Dr. Weber, and I do
He's so
think it
sweet.
says something about the the interns and the young residents. Like it's a little bit of a entitlement type of thing
millennial
where they feel like they're
thing.
entitled to do so much more than they are. Like you guys do not have the experience to throw your hands in an open body and
Yeah.
not know what the hell you're doing.
Right, no, exactly. But
That's
I
what
think
Stephanie was
that's
trying to do
also
today.
what that's how also Dr. Minnick's attitude is the same.
Right.
That very high sense of entitlement and like all of these things, which, she may be a good surgeon. We don't even know. We haven't even seen her do
And I'm
anything.
sure she is.
And
It's
she
just-
probably
yeah.
is.
I'm
and
sure
her-
she's great,
and,
but the cockiness.
and like I said, like kind of like getting in there and seeing where these doctors are. Interesting. Okay. But still, like, I don't know if that's necessarily going to be the best way to get them to actually think about these patients as
Right.
people and want to do the best for them versus I want to be in a cool surgery.
Right. And with Dr. Weber, a lot of it really is screw up and learn from your mistakes.
Yeah.
Like we've
Yeah.
seen so many, even episodes now that come back as they talk about the, traumas that haunt them still. But the learning experiences from those cases are, they will never make that
Right.
mistake again. Even with Dr. Shepard.
Well, even when he talked to Bailey, when he
Yeah,
finally,
see, that's where the tears come from me.
when he finally talked to Bailey and was like, basically, you should know better. That's just very disrespectful at the end of the day.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like that was
It is
handled,
personal.
and
I
again,
like the way he
that was
said
like
that.
selfish and another thing, and very disrespectful to him. And everything that he did for her to fight for her to have that job, he always had her back.
Oh, yeah.
He gave her so much attention, teaching her, and that's what she does.
Well,
I'm
and
gonna
he
sneak
taught
in
her
with the-
again.
Yeah.
Right
No,
then,
right
in that
then,
moment.
exactly.
I mean, it was such a Dr.
Which is
Weber
a good
teaching
thing.
moment.
I'm going to play a little devil's advocate here, and it may be time to have some fresh meat in there. And so that's why I was like, if there's any way to create some sort of balance where he's just not like what he said he's like an instrument or what do you say, an ornament.
said,
I'm an
yeah.
ornament. And I totally get that, but it's like maybe it will to shake things up. And I mean, it definitely shook some things up, but I love the way everyone's standing up for him and be like, no, we love you. We've learned so much from you. I completely get that. But at the same time, it's so good to like shake things up a little bit.
No
If things
new
weren't
friends.
working because they weren't working
No
at the
new
time.
friends. I don't want
But
to see
I liked
anyone new.
it.
Screw
But
it.
for
I also
Eliza.
like that
No.
Maggie led the charge for that.
Yeah, she did.
Right.
Which I thought was
because
great.
she's the newest.
"That's my
almost
daddy."
out of that entire group. She was probably the newest attending that came on. So
Yeah.
she didn't even come up through Dr.
She went and got an Avery and was like, we got to stop this.
She's no dummy.
I think Jackson is so fine. Every time I say, I'm like, yes, go help him. Every time he gets any screen time, I'm like,
fun
oh, I
little-
love you.
Fun little tidbit. I
Yes.
have a good friend that just booked Grey's Anatomy and just shot
Yes.
it the other week. And so I
Episode with
said if
him?
he wants to come on, he can. But
Awesome.
he said Jesse Williams, who plays Dr.
Jackson.
Avery, Jackson, is like the nicest guy
Oh,
ever.
that's so awesome.
And they spent time together in his trailer, and he was just showing him like things and like like normal person stuff.
That's so
and I was like,
dope.
yes,
Yes.
he's hot and he's nice.
He's
I love
hot
it.
and nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the best. To be
That's so
hot
fun.
and nice.
One of my friends was actually in a scene with them today.
Oh,
that they
really?
were filming. They were filming out at a private airport.
Get your friend on here,
Yeah,
too.
I
Oh
know.
God,
So
another
he-
plane crash? Just kidding.
I don't know what it is, but if any of you guys, I'm sure that you all do, like follow Ellen Pompeo.
Yeah.
She did a video where she was like
Yeah.
panning, and you can see him walking like out of the plane. 'Cause
Awesome.
He works at the airport, so he really works at that airport,
That
so
is
they
so
cast
dope.
him.
Oh, smart. How
so they
cool.
cast them to do that. So I was telling him, I'm gonna go crash the shoot. He's like, come. I was like, oh, I didn't get a chance to go down there.
That would've been awesome.
I told him he could come and talk about his experience.
Oh, that would be so
His,
great. I would love to have more
especially
people in
because
here.
he's not. I mean, like he's not an actor, but because
Right,
he works
just-
there, he got to play a
That's
part.
really
So
cool.
he had a script and everything.
Well, gosh, everyone we talked to says that they're all nice.
Yes,
So
it's a great.
That's
I mean, that's
awesome.
why they've been around for 13 years. It's not. I mean, of course, ratings, but then also having like a nice group.
And
a
everyone
nice
that
group
wasn't,
of
they
people.
just killed off.
Yeah, they're like, bye. Oh, you're
Any
homophobic.
troublemakers?
Adios.
So there were two doctors getting along today, which they haven't always. Dr. Hunt,
Yes.
Dr. Riggs.
That was cute.
I liked it.
am liking this relationship.
I liked it.
I'm liking
They're
where
like
it's
a
going.
little Oscar odd couple to me, but I love it.
Yeah.
They had
I
another
liked-
moment again where they're just addressing Dr. Riggs and
The ex-
Hunt's
yeah.
sister. Yeah.
kind
And
of elephant in the room.
yeah, and I think it is almost put to rest. I think we're very close to it being, done, and they're going to get over it. And I think that they're going to end up being really great friends again. They're going to
Yeah.
need each other because Dr.
Amelia.
Hunt
Oh.
Dr. Hunt gets a note from Amelia
Amelia.
at the end of the night.
Gosh, why is she so dramatic all the time?
Yeah, and I gotta be honest, I was a little confused because I was kind of in and out after all this stuff happened as to
Yeah.
what the note actually said.
We didn't.
Did she leave?
I don't
What
know.
happened? We're led to believe we don't know.
We don't know. I mean, it kind of looks like maybe she did. Mm-hmm. Or she wants to take it, but she's always. And it's funny because my sister is a big fan of the show as well, and she cannot stand Amelia's character. And
either.
I'm starting to like really understand why. And I thought it was finally at a good point. She was going to cut her whiny crap out. Every single situation with her has to be so over dramatic.
And I was
Yeah.
gonna say,
Everything.
if she did leave, I hate it. Like,
Yeah,
I do
absolutely.
not.
Please don't
That
do
is
that.
so stupid. I hate it.
Yeah.
I mean, everything. Yeah. It's,
One of our followers, May, she said that maybe Amelia somehow ended up in that building too. Remember that? I was like,
oh God, that'd be
I was like, I love May.
May.
And Maisie131.
And she just preemptively wrote the
Yeah, I
note.
was like, I
Yeah.
hope not. Yeah. Like, oh, by the way, I'm leaving you, but I'm gonna. That was
Good
cute.
jump in this.
But I like that they
Structurally
did
unsound
actually talk about the same how Hunt is going through the same story. I did like
Yes.
that, so thank you. They addressed it, and then Riggs saying no, it's different because now you know better.
Right.
Yes,
So,
yes, I love
did
that.
like that.
That
so
was very sweet.
Yep.
that was good.
I feel
see
so
it.
bad for
Meredith
him.
and Riggs. Oh,
know.
Oh, you feel bad for Hunt?
Hunt. I do. The
Get
guy's
him a kid already.
The guy is with the worst. I mean, Christina Yang was my favorite. Don't get me wrong. I was,
she was a bad
huge
wife.
Christina Yang fan. But yeah, that relationship was so volatile and just, But I
Who
just
can we
want
fix
him
him
to
up
have
with
a
instead?
kid.
I know. Give him a kid already.
Give him a good girlfriend first.
And I hope they don't end up him and Mare. They said that in one of the
Oh,
past
yeah.
episodes. I'm like, that would suck
no,
too.
no. I want Riggs and Meredith. And I like the way the way Meredith told Alex, like, no, this is it. This is like, it's just me and you now.
Well, yeah, so we have to talk about it.
Yes,
So
yes.
let's go through all
So,
this.
yeah.
Alex wants to take the plea deal. It's 2 years in prison.
2 years in prison.
So Joe doesn't have to testify,
So
which
that-
is such
And
a
there's no
cop-out.
wiggle room. It's just 2 years.
100% agree with Meredith that it is ridiculous.
I know, but that's just like he's still totally in love with her. That he's just
a
willing
knight
to
in
do
shining
whatever.
armor. He's
But
a knight in
not-
shining armor.
But what she said is true. Like this is not noble. What you're doing. This is not.
Right.
Or
This
he's
is
Captain
stupid.
Save-A-Ho.
Right,
Like,
and it's still not going to solve her problem.
No, it absolutely isn't.
Correct.
She has to be the one to solve that problem. Nothing ruining his life is not taking responsibility for what he did, of course.
Right.
But
And he still may get some time that way, but maybe not 2 years.
Right.
His hands in 2 years can save so many lives. That is so necessary, especially those kids that need him.
So you think that
He doesn't
should
take the
go to
plea.
a job?
No,
Oh.
no. In 2 years, imagine all the lives that he could possibly
during that
save
2-year time. Got it.
or save. You know, like she needs to just eat it up and get some help. And it's scary. I mean, again, I can't really relate because I've never, thank God, and thank goodness, it
Right.
sounds like from we've never been in that situation. But so many people, and I'm sure some of our viewers either have been in a situation like that or they know someone who has. And my God, there's domestic abuse. There's people that out there to help. And I would say go out and reach for someone's help and not ruin the possibility
you
of
don't have
many
to do
lives.
it
It's
on
not
your
just Alex's life, but it's like many
Right.
lives that he could possibly save.
Well, and also too, when
That's my plea.
when DeLuca goes back and talks to Joe, and seems to, after talking with Alex, like she seems to feel better. She's not as afraid anymore. She's just gonna take whatever happens.
And he's still gonna do
and
it.
she's in a better place. And that is another thing about being a knee-jerk reactor person, where you don't get the full story, you get a piece, and then you make this crazy decision to go and do something. And I hope that he really sits.
Yeah, so
and
what do you think he
listens.
does?
Drop the charges.
No, so you think he doesn't take the plea after being there? He just says, I'm
hope
sorry, I
not.
have to leave.
I want him to leave. I'm hoping that he
Good.
leaves.
Me too.
too.
I can't
We're all in
imagine that
agreement.
they let him just take the plea and just take him away for 2 years. I mean,
Yeah,
that just seems too simple. I haven't read anything to like where he wants to be off the show or
Yeah.
anything like that. So I don't think it happens. I don't think he takes the plea. And I think after all of this, we've got to come back from this winter break that we have now with
Yeah.
a big trial to look forward to.
absolutely. We've got to figure out where Amelia went, and we've got to figure out,
How
you know.
did she go?
So much. It's like, thanks, Amelia.
Oh my gosh.
Well, we've already established that she's pregnant in real life, so,
So I think
yeah.
she just needed some time.
Yeah,
Right. Oh,
she's like, I just need some.
that's
minutes.
exactly what
Yeah.
we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joe's pregnant in real life too.
Oh, she
Yeah.
is.
Yes.
Maybe she's gonna.
Congrats.
Yeah, she is. So maybe,
So maybe she has to go
Maybe she
somewhere
runs
too.
too. After she testifies, because we're going to court.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any good predictions? Should we get into some predictions?
Let's do it.
Ooh,
And now,
Even though that is kind of a big prediction right there.
that was some predictions.
Shannon, what you got, girl?
I'm still marinating. I'm gonna pass for the moment.
Kellie.
Dang it. Okay, I think when we come back, there's absolutely going to be drama, but I think, I want to see some good stuff happen, so I'm just going to say what I want to happen. Like, I want to see Meredith finally get some action. I think she needs to get a little
Her
stress
and Riggs
relief.
need to pick it up where they
I
left
think
off.
we need a little stress relief from her. She's got too much going on trying to mom.
We
Yelling at
do
people.
too. I need to see some sex. That's a good prediction. I think that's totally right too, because it's been too long.
Yeah, it's been too long.
For sure.
Yeah.
I do think that the group is going to somehow get Dr. Weber his job back.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think Minnick's staying around too long. She will be around now for a little bit because of the love,
Right.
little love story with her and Dr. Robbins. But I don't see her playing that role that she's supposed to be playing. So we'll see.
Yeah, I guess I'm ready for mine. I say Joe leaves. Joe's gone. Alex does not take the plea. He does get into, I think he's going to get, what do you call it when you're not in
Community
jail?
service.
Yeah, community service or something
Or
like
he's
that.
on house arrest or
House arrest or
or the
something.
probate, yeah.
That he could write a book or something. I don't know. Cool. And then I do want Riggs and Meredith to get it. And and I don't know, more Jackson time would be good for me so I can see more Jesse Williams.
Always.
And that's pretty much all I have right now at the top of my head as far as what I would like to see happen. I like the idea of what I would like to see happen. Definitely. And Stephanie, a new boyfriend. I want Stephanie to have a boyfriend. And
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Wilmer
been
was her
since her
boyfriend
and,
last year.
her and Jackson.
Oh yeah, so she.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, she had
Or Wilmer, yeah.
Forgot about him.
Yeah, we forgot.
Yeah.
That was like 2 episodes done.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, bye. You're too short anyway. Sorry, Wilmer.
Oh, come on. Same height laying down.
Yeah.
Now we've got like a whole month break.
Yeah, guys, so
long.
we are not back until January 19th.
Yes.
So mark that on your calendar. It's holiday break time. Everybody enjoy Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah, every holiday that you celebrate.
Let this year, I'm ready for 2016 to be done anyway.
Send
So
some
let's bring out some 2017.
Yeah,
Yes.
set some good New Year's resolutions, and we will see you back here on the 19th. Shannon, where can they find you on social media?
I'm everywhere at Shannon Bobo.
And I am everywhere at Kellie with an IE 079.
And you guys can find me everywhere at Hayley Clover. Thank you for commenting on YouTube. Continue to do that. We love
Yes,
reading and
we
commenting
love
with you. And we will see you January 19th.
2017.
2017, baby.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.